Okay, it is 5:01 p.m. on Tuesday, July 8th, 2025. We will call the Board of Works and Safety meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Weigel.
Here.
Smith. Here. Daniel.
Here. In front of you are the minutes from our last meeting on June 24th. Were there any changes or corrections?
No.
No. I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes as presented.
And I'll second.
Motion seconded. Further discussion? All those in favor should be the usual sign. Lisa and Dan approve. I abstain. Next up is we're going to bump item number 2, the encroachment request, down later in the agenda. So next up is the street closing for the Family Safety Festival. I will, I guess, speak on behalf of Ashley. I know she's been working with, is it you or Chris?
Me and Tom.
You and Tom and
Yeah.
Trent and some of the others. And you may remember last year, my office did the Summer in the City program. This year, we're not doing that because there's so many other events that are happening, but one of the things that I think went really well that we wanted to bring back was the Family Safety Festival. And so between the police and the fire and some of the others, I know we've been working on, I shouldn't say we, they've been working on this Family Safety Festival for September 27th from 8 to 12:30 p.m., 8 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. I don't know, Gary, if you want to add any content to what I just said, but I want to give you the opportunity if you want to.
No, I mean, other than, I think it went very well last year, and I think it's a great PR thing, and it's during the farmer's market
Yep.
as well, so there's lots of people downtown, and it brings more people downtown, so I think it was a good event last year, so that's why
Yep.
we did it again this year.
And this is on Van Buren Street between Main and Line. And, so last year there was Northeastern RMC was there, and there was
Bicycle
a
thing.
bicycle little track thing. We gave away bike helmets. There was they used Jaws of Life as a demonstration. There was our
Car seat
our
checks.
canines were there.
Car seat
It just
checks.
lots of things.
Yeah.
So there was lots of things there. Yeah, car seat checks. I forgot about that one. So lots of good things that brought people downtown. Number one, but number two, made sure that we're again just continuing to encourage individuals to use safe practices, whether it's when you're riding your bike, whether it's when you're around electricity, showing how our departments work, things like that. So, any questions regarding the street closing permit? I'll make a motion we approve the street closing permit for the Family Safety Festival as presented.
I'll second.
Motion seconded. Further discussion. I do have one question. I guess I should have asked this earlier. And Gary, I know this isn't your request here, but it says the streets are requested to be closed between 8 and 12:30. Is that the time frame of the actual Public Safety Festival? Or is it like 9 to 12?
I think it's 9 to 12.
9 to noon kind of a thing?
But it
Okay.
gives some time for setup and.
Yeah, I just want to make
Tear
sure.
down.
So,
Yeah.
so I didn't want it to be if the Public Safety Festival is from 8 to 12:30, that we have it,
Yeah.
that, the streets close at 8, instead, the streets close at 7. So if we think
Yeah.
it's at 9, then.
I believe it's at 9 to.
Okay.
9 to noon.
Okay. Further discussion? All those in favor show by the usual sign. It is unanimous. Next up is a street closing permit for the Whitley County 4-H Parade on Tuesday, July 15th, from 5:30 to 6 p.m. And they have the map there in, well, ignore the blue line, it's the red markings, if you will. So, I think it's the same route as last year? Yep.
Starts on Park Street, goes down to Squawbuck to Lincoln Way to the second entrance.
Gotcha.
Back into the fairgrounds.
Okay. Questions? Okay. I'll make a motion we approve the 4-H parade as presented.
Second.
Motion seconded. Further discussion. All those in favor should be the usual sign. It is unanimous. We did have one additional street closing permit that was provided to us. The former Waves building has been sold, and they're doing some remodeling in there for the new business that's going to be in there, and so they'd like to have a trash trailer, or I'm assuming a dumpster basically, there in the parking spaces in front of that blue Waves building, if you will. So the request is 7-9 to 7-11, having 3 spaces. and then 714 to 725 having 2 spaces. And I'm assuming that they would provide the cones or whatever, or we can provide the cones one way or another for safety purposes, but if you guys want to look at it. There is no map attached, that's the only concern, but again, we know it's a couple spaces in front of the blue building there, so I'm not super concerned about that part.
We're looking at 10/14 to, that's quite a few days.
She did say that there will be no weekends. So during that 2-week period, they won't be working on the weekends, so the spaces will be open.
Pull back in on the 17th.
So they're just
That
gonna
is-
be in-
That's 11 days there.
Without the weekend.
Without the weekends, that's, you know, so I assume that if they could probably say 2 or 3 days with the weekends in there if they had it, but. Again, I mean, it's gonna be right directly in front of their business, so it's not necessarily gonna impact other businesses per se, right? If you would imagine that, you know, 2 or 3 people or 2 or 3 vehicles would be in front of the, as previous, but, so. Any concerns about that outside of the time frame and stuff? I'll make a motion, we approve the renovation to the building at 205 West Van Buren Street as presented.
I'll second, and it looks like your map is on the back.
Oh, it is on the back, thank you very much. It's a hand-drawn map, but it's good. Is this your drawing?
I didn't draw.
Oh, you didn't draw that, okay. Okay,
I still second.
okay, thank you. Further discussion? All those in favor, show by the usual sign. It is unanimous. Okay, next up, let's go ahead and do bills.
Okay.
Lisa?
I make a motion to pay all accounts payable in the amount of $750,417.03 from the allowance of accounts payable vouchers dated July 8th, 2025 for checks.
Second.
Motion seconded, further discussion. All those in favor, show by the usual sign. It is unanimous.
I make a motion to pay all accounts payable in the amount of $679,086.53 from the allowance of accounts payable vouchers dated July 8th, 2025 for EFT payments.
Second.
Motion seconded, further discussion. All those in favor, show by the usual sign. It is unanimous.
I make a motion to pay all accounts payable except overtime in the amount of $313,969.42, plus overtime in the amount of $14,837.76, for a total of $328,807.18 for the pay file ending July 3rd, 2025.
Second.
Motion seconded, further discussion. All those in favor, show by the usual sign. It is unanimous.
I make a motion to pay all accounts payable in the amount of $2,362.86 from the allowance of accounts payable vouchers dated July 8, 2025 for meter deposits for June.
Second.
Motion seconded, further discussion. All those in favor, show by the usual sign. It is unanimous.
And finally, I make a motion to pay all accounts payable in the amount of $12,750 from the allowance of accounts payable vouchers dated 7/4/2025 for clothing allowance.
Second.
Motion seconded, further discussion. All those in favor, show by the usual sign. It is unanimous. Okay. So I want to go back to item number 2, which is the encroachment request for 627 South Redstone Court. I think that they did provide a pretty good map, actually, in my opinion. I guess my question would be, because they even showed what's the, spacing from the property line, what's the spacing in the utility easement, et cetera. So,
That's kind of what I was missing as well.
what part?
The distance that you were talking
Yeah.
for the.
You're saying you were missing that, or that you saw that?
See, well, I see
Because
just talking about this yard barn.
yeah, yeah,
Well, I see a 9, literally, looks like 8 feet 11 inches,
Yes.
11 inches, and then 12 or 13.3
Yes.
from property line.
yes.
So, I see those two.
Mm-hmm. Well, it looks like it's, it looks like it's, I guess it didn't necessarily show how far over the utility easement it is
I
currently.
don't see the easement on it.
If you look over to the left-hand side, the 20-foot utility easement, and then there's like a dotted line across.
So that shows you where the easement is versus
Oh,
where the building is, yeah. So it doesn't show how far over, but it does show the utility, or the barn being,
I guess if I was subtracting that, it looks like about 7 feet into the,
give or take.
give or take. about
Yeah.
7 feet into the, okay, that utility, about 7 feet in, and then, let's
I guess my question, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Dan, I'm sorry. My question would be, to Chip, is there any,
We're
no
good.
utilities back there?
No,
You don't have
we're
any
good.
concerns?
Yep.
I was looking to see if anything on the permit directly said how much over, I don't think it says directly though. It just shows the size of the structure is 10 by 12 3/4. So honestly, if there's not utilities back there, I don't have as big of a concern about it. Yes, the bigger thing would just be that we would need to make sure that we communicate to them the same we communicate to everybody, which is if you're in the utility easement and an emergency does come up where we have to exercise that utility easement, that they would have to, obviously, that'd be on them to put the shed back or whatever, but,
Yeah, everything's in front, so,
okay,
I mean, of our utilities.
yes, yeah. Any other questions? I mean, if you guys want to table it, we can table it, but I feel like my questions have been answered,
I
so.
think we're good.
You good? Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve the encroachment agreement for, I'll get there, for 627 South Redstone Court as presented.
Second.
Motion seconded, further discussion. All those in favor should be the usual sign. It is unanimous. So when you respond to them to let them know where we're at, will you just reiterate the fact that they have to take care of it if for some reason we have to move it or something?
Yep.
Be hard to move that, I would imagine. But again, if it's not over utility, I don't have as big of issues, so personally. Department head reports, Chip.
Trail is coming along. We've kind of had a little setback with the holiday week. They took a whole week, so that's why I'm saying a holiday week. So hopefully this week things get moving forward. They're working down at the dairy barn. I'd really like to get that business back fully open and going. Tomorrow, I'm meeting with DNR to go through a final walkthrough of the skate park, Phase 1A of Eagle Park and the pickleball courts, so hopefully everything goes smooth there. We do have a couple trees that died pretty quickly after they got put in the ground, but they are under warranty. So if the public's concerned, they will be replaced, and they have been being watered and everything. So everything's going really good right now.
Questions of Chip? Thank you. Gary, you've had an eventful couple of weeks.
We have, very busy, but fireworks went well. A little hiccup getting everybody out of there at the very end. That there was an issue between a couple people that were parked in front of each other, not letting each other out, and got into a little.
We weren't being very neighborly.
Correct. So, but we got that all worked out at the end, and so other than that, I heard a lot of positive things of the show itself, the
Yep.
fireworks themselves. Everybody said it was the best they've seen in years, so I've heard a few of those comments. First Friday went well. Officer Sturgis is still doing well at the academy. He's in his 10th week, so he's got 6 weeks to go after this week. Officer Fuller has given his 2-week notice. He'll be going back to Warsaw PD, where he's worked for 15 years, building relationships and making connections, and just feels a little more comfortable back there. So I was a little disappointed there. His last day is July 18th. Officer Brannicky will be filling his position as the role of SRO. So I request, I guess, to fill his vacancy from the board.
So that's 2 vacancies we gotta fill. I'm good with it. You guys good?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I hate to see, obviously, 2 officers that had a lot of promise. One that had been in, police work for a long time. I hate to see him leave. I know for Officer Fuller, again, Warsaw was bending over backwards to try to get him back, which I hate to see that, but it is what it is. And obviously with Officer Ewing, I hate to see him leave, but I understand personal, family comes first kind of thing, so. So in any case, yes, go ahead and start moving forward.
All right, thank you. But that's been, those things have been wearing on me a little hard, so that's been stressful. Dispatch, working on filling the shift lead position for day shift, which Aaron will be moving to day shift, first shift lead, And then, so we'll have to fill her position on second shift, so, which got 2 people within the department that are interested in that, so that was good. I wasn't sure if we'd get 1, 2, or anybody, so we got 2 people interested in filling that role, so that's kind of exciting. We'll be
That's
doing
good.
interviews soon for that. Also working on call works upgrade, which is our phone system and dispatch, and then gearing up for the 4-H fair and the parade this week, at the end of this week, into next week. Plugging away, lots of stuff going on this summer.
Questions of Gary? Thank you. Mike?
Slip three wiring is going well. We run out of gravity feed yesterday, so the guy that runs the press made a phone call and they brought in a tank this morning at no extra charge to us. And so our load outstanding, we're pumping into the tank and they're taking it out of the tank through the belt press. Hopefully be finished up here in a couple of days. We have been able to identify what parts are needed for the repairs, so we're just waiting to get down. Those parts have been ordered. So we get that down and we get those in and make repairs to that. I'm working on a letter to IDEM. We had a meeting, a virtual meeting with them on the 16th. So some of the discrepancies that they had on our long-term control plan level of control. So those have been addressed or will be addressed in this letter. We're thinking that they're going to give us another 3-year extension on that to collect more data and do a few other things to get everything in line. It went a lot better than I thought it was going to. The Force Main project, again, there's one small little thing left, Jefferson, that will be taken care of next week. And after that, I'll be bringing in the final pay request and we'll close that project out. I never want to do it again.
Okay.
That's all I've got. Unless you have questions.
Questions of Mike? Thank you, Mike. Hey, Jeff, I realized I have a letter in front of me.
I know, I didn't know as soon as Gary, so our GIS gentleman is leaving July 15th. He gave us a final notice today, so if I could have your blessing to hire a new.
Good? Good. Okay, yep, you got the blessing. Okay. Marcia?
Nothing.
Please.
Leslie?
I have nothing.
If any of my things load up here, then I'll have some reports for you too. But right now, I'm struggling to get those reports to load up. I will tell you, while I'm waiting for that, that obviously street paving is happening right now. And it's a big kerfuffle.
Walmart was interesting.
It was rough last night. I was stuck in a 20-minute line to get out from Walmart yesterday, okay?
So clear out and around the
just-
county to get back.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me,
I
so.
just went down the connection to Lincoln Way, caught the light.
Yeah, assuming you can get in that line, that's a whole different, but anyways, long story short is, yes, yesterday at Walmart, it was an issue. I called our inspector and just really encouraged him to encourage our paving contractor that maybe paving the, one of the busiest traveled roads at 4 o'clock in the afternoon is maybe not the best suggestion, maybe not the best idea. So I encouraged, because we still have Countryside Drive, we still need to pave. So I encouraged, if any way we can do that in the morning, that would be best for our community. Because if they do it at 4 o'clock, I will.
Midnight.
What?
Midnight,
They can do it
right?
midnight too. I don't care when they do it, I just don't want them to do it during rush hour, which is a really bad thing. So, long story short is, they had a paver go down today. We were planning, we milled, I shouldn't say, the contractor milled off Park Street, and we're planning to come back and pave it after the 4-H fair. One of their other pavers went down, which is typically what they use in cul-de-sacs. And so they went after Park Street and Walnut Street today, as I understand. They got the okay from the 4-H fairground staff member, and I think it should all be paved by now. Park Street should all be paved by now, and if not, it will be done by the end of the day. They were told that the most of the projects will come in on Thursday, so as long as it was done by Thursday, we should be good to go. So, there were some projects that were trickling in today, but again, it was not the majority of them. So, people found a way around. Everybody will live once this, while paving is happening, everybody will live, okay? I just say that to say that there has been some hiccups along the way. There's been some delays in paving because of rain that's fallen. Keep in mind, to our public members who are watching this, if it rains, we have to make sure that it's dry before we put pavement down. Because if we don't, then in the winter, we have cracks and potholes and bad stuff. So just be flexible with us. We will try our best to accommodate. We have had some different things I've had to address with the contractor, but hopefully I think we're in a good spot now. Okay? So that's that. To piggyback on what Gary said, yes, 4th of July I think went well. Matt's report said, you know, obviously fireworks maybe started a little slow, but made up for it at the end with really an amazing finale and all that kind of stuff. Got a fair amount of good positive comments about the fireworks, so that's good. New doors are getting put on and a wall for Terry is going up at the Eagle Park server room, and they're getting ready for JFL that starts in a few weeks. So that is his report. Water department, the GLOW team, the Get the Lead Out GLOW, was on site with a team to conduct the door knocking. There were a total of 4 teams going door to door in an effort to complete the lead service inventory or line inventory. They were able to make contact with approximately 900 residents, either by conversation, leaving a door hanger, or things like that. So in some residents also allowed them to come in to verify the service line material. The good news coming out of that is that a lot of the lines that we thought could have been lead were copper, which is positive for our bottom line. So we'll see. But in any case, they are going to do another round of door knocking in the next couple of months to kind of complete the remaining 429 resident homes that have not been visited yet. They're going to fix the stormwater drain at Eagle Park next week, and they're going to be starting the Jeffrey Drive water main project in the near future. So that is Mike Shoda's report. Tom is also on vacation. Well, Tom's on vacation, and he said things are busy. They had, let's see, yes. Yesterday they had one of the new candidates going to Indy for pension testing. All equipment seems to be operating properly right now, and they're waiting to work with Convoy Tech on the camera system on the ladder truck. And I think that's all from him. And try to see if there's anything. I think that's probably it. Outside of just saying, we're continuing to work on the amphitheater project. Chip and Matt and I met yesterday with JPR, the engineering firm, to work on kind of the overall plan for phase 1B of Eagle Park. And that's the amphitheater with kind of the seating space around it and some other things there. So generally speaking, I think it went well. Again, it's kind of the how much of the apple can we and should we bite off on that. So we're working through that. We had a discussion regarding bonding capacity for the jail project. It's no bueno, it's no good. I've said from the beginning, we're not gonna raise taxes for this project, and just the bonding capacity is just not necessarily there for the size of project that I think we're gonna have to do. So I guess I'm kind of soft pedaling saying that I'm looking really hard at what maybe options are on the table. And I'll just kind of leave it at that for right now. I'd love to do a project, I just don't know that we can do to the fullest extent with us doing the project directly. So a couple of different things that are on the table there. I'm working through all those, happy to report at the next meeting kind of where we're at with those things. And later this week, we have a conversation about Westgate Phase 3, which will be next year's application, well, this year's application for next year's community crossings. And A&Z has been working on the engineering of that to get that ready. Lunch with the Mayor is Friday. My Lunch with the Mayor program is on Friday. And let's see, I'm just trying to make sure. 4-H Fair again obviously begins here soon. And I think that's generally all, except to say, I'm sorry, Friday the 18th, we are doing the Employee Appreciation Luncheon at the park from 11:30 to 12:30. And so obviously you're invited. So that's all I have. Dan?
No, nothing, sir.
Lisa?
I don't have anything.
We have no press, we have no audience, so we will call the meeting adjourned. Thank you.